Alright, we're going to try this one more time. I already made 2 videos sitting here. And now we're going into number 3. So I just got done doing number 2. Oh, there's a dad joke. Oh, that's funny. I used to do that when I was working at the foundry too, because when you start up with the molds, when you run out your first parts, and you'd have to stamp sequence numbers on them. You know, you'd start with your stamper on number 1, and stamp in number 1, and turn it to number 2 for the next part when it comes out. Number 2, number 3. So I used to tease my coworkers, and I'd be like, when you first get started and going, because like especially if your molds are, if you're the one firing up for the beginning, sometimes it takes run so many parts before you get good parts out of it, and just equalizing the temperature of the metal everywhere and stuff. But I tease all my coworkers, like, when you first start running, they're like, yeah. I'm like, well, I said, if your second part don't come out good, don't worry, it was a number 2 anyway. And they'd laugh at my stupid humor. Another stupid joke I'd say at the foundry is we had this, I don't know, I want to say it was probably like, maybe 3 foot by 4 foot by 8 foot plexiglass box with the plastic flaps like they have going in and out of the cooler at the grocery store or meat market or something, And that was because it's so hot in the foundry, especially in the summer. They didn't use it to have it in there in the winter. They'd put it in the summer. It gets so hot, and so we could reduce, people having heat stroke or heat-related stuff going on. They could, once the molds tip back, most molds got anywhere from 3 to 10 minutes of curing time before you can pull the part out. The part's still super hot, but it ain't liquid metal anymore. And you could go into that box to cool down because it had air conditioner vent pumping in there, keeping it cool. Well, I got this Bluetooth speaker that's on 2 wheels, like a dolly, a big one. Probably, I don't know, it's pretty big. It's waterproof. You can bring them camping or tow it down the river, and it's got a rechargeable lithium battery. You can plug it in and stuff, but it'll last like 10 hours on a full charge. And it's got AM, FM radio and all that stuff in it, but they're big, they rock. Well, it's so loud in that foundry, and that's what you need if you want to hear music. Anything smaller, you ain't gonna hear it. You gotta be able to really crank it out because it's loud in the foundry. But I put my speaker in that cooler room, and they frown on you sitting on the job, but you're on your feet for 10, 12-hour shifts, working in a hostile environment. And I was older, even though I was out producing everybody, I was still older, so I took advantage of getting the weight off of my feet in between those molds. So if I had my speaker sitting in that cooler box, it was tall enough that I could go in there to cool down, and now that I could sit on it, and then I'd take the weight off my feet for, anywhere from even 30 seconds helped, every couple minutes or so. If I could get off my feet for 30 seconds or a minute, that's was better on my feet and legs, from instead of standing on concrete all day. It helped out a lot, and I still hustled though. But I tease all the other guys because I'd have my speaker in there, and I'd tell them, because it was a big, cooling box. So I said, you know why I put my speaker in there? And they're like, why? And I said, because I like to listen to cool music. And some of them are like, they laughed at it because it was funny, but some of them are like, boo, that is a stupid joke. But yeah, so I did a lot of stupid stuff like that at the foundry, but that's what really lightened that place up, because when I first started at the foundry, everybody was like a zombie. No one talked to each other. Well, it's understandable. It's the most hostile environment I've ever worked in, I think. I've done roofing in the summers and stuff, where you're up on a shingle in a roof and it's just cooking hot because of the sun coming off the tar and that. But it ain't like a foundry, It's hot, but not like a foundry. We're melting. That was aluminum. I can only imagine what it'd be like in a different type of metal foundry where it takes more heat to keep the metal melted. Aluminum, we were running at about 1350 to 1400 degrees, and for keeping it melted in the furnaces. And then we poured into molds that were running at anywhere from, let's say, 750 to 900 degrees the molds were heated up to. And when we're pulling the parts out of the machines, they're probably at like 400 or 500 degrees or something like that, pulling and they're different size parts. Some of them are heavy parts, 2-cylinder motors, 4-cylinder motors, big manifolds for big Cummins engines or whatever, tractors. And hot stuff. And one year in July, my hottest day working in the foundry was 136.2 degrees. And that was over by my toolbox. That was not over by the furnace in the mold, which was much, much, much hotter. So that was a tough day. I was so hot that day, I started to black out like 3 different times where I started getting tunnel vision coming in. I'd lean over on my toolbox, hold on to it for a minute. I'd breathe in and out the hot air trying to calm down. And I'd take some slugs of cold water. And then I'd go right back at it. So, and I could still do it, but I could feel it tearing on my health. And the biggest thing was God told me that I'd done what I could do there, and I really affected a lot of people there. It was a good positive impact for the majority of the people there. I think the office, somebody in HR, whatever, or something, I don't know. Somebody or something didn't like it somewhere because they basically quiet fired me and kind of started singling me out and changing stuff. Which, they very well could have been the Lord at work, because he had already told me it was time to go, that I'd done what I was supposed to do there. And I kept arguing the point, like, no, I want to save more money. I'll go, I will, but I got a little longer. I kept staying there longer and longer, which was good in a way, because I put over $5,000 into the camper, so that way I'd be less likely to have something break down in case I wasn't working. Good thing I did that. But I did have one thing happen. Out of all the stuff I replaced, fuel pump went out, and that was a shocker. That was an emotional wreck for that one. And God sent help, you know. It's amazing what he does. And he said he'd provide, and he has in so many different ways. And you see that in my videos if you watch some of the earlier ones, you know. My biggest testimony is my third video of the brick story, but I was still not good with camera yet. There's one, I don't know what I titled it, but the brick story was my third one. I'm gonna guess the one with Gregory, the homeless man. He I don't know if that was like 10, 12, 15, 27. I don't know. It was somewhere later down the line, but in the beginning there somewhere. And I got a picture of me and him together so I could put a face to the story. And I was literally sitting in my camper crying to God because winter was on its way, saying, what am I going to do? You know, I haven't found work yet. I'm scared. God's telling me he's going to provide, and he's going to send somebody to me and stuff. He told me that before the day I was crying in the camper. He had said he'd provide, and that because I was always said I didn't need to work on my pride because I wouldn't accept help, because I was always like, I can do it on my own. You know, he said I needed to learn how to accept help. I've done that well now. I don't like it, but I've learned to do it. Still not easy on my pride, I guess. So I guess I haven't learned 100%. You know, but I don't know. It's probably a good thing. I don't know if it is or not. I don't know. But ain't, Lord, at least, you know, show me where I'm messing up. You know? So, but yeah, I was literally in here crying to God about what am I gonna do? You know, I'm getting old. I'm scared. I ain't found work. Winter's coming. How am I gonna survive? And got a knock on the side of the camper. Pulled my shade up, and well, first I, you know, dabbed my eyes quick and pulled the shade up. Here's this homeless guy, Gregory, and right when I opened the window, he says, "I came to give you money." I'd never seen him before in my life. Blew my mind. So that whole moment, that whole time right there was just really like a euphoric, dreamy state, because I couldn't believe it happened. I should know better, because God's done amazing things in my life before. It was just weird that this was another one of those moments where just as I was talking to God, his prayer was answered immediately. Now, you know, he didn't like give me a ton of money, but it's the point, you know. And I guess you have to watch the video to see the story, but yeah, it was really cool. And stuff like that keeps happening up here, and people that God sends me to, or sends people to me, and I don't know if I've really done a video talking about it, but my one friend who I met up here in the lot, and I've talked to him about this different stuff too, and why I came up here, and God and all that stuff, and and why I started this channel, and God wants me to start talking about him more and stuff and all that. Well, so he's got to spend a lot of time on the phone with me and in person and get to know me more and more. Well, I go walking into Walmart with him one day, and somebody come right to me. He got to witness it, and they came right to me and just said, my friend needs somebody to pray for him. That freaked kind of like, okay, you know, I'm not a pastor or nothing, but that kind of stuff happened to me at the Foundry too. When I started talking about God, people started asking me to pray for him. It's different. It's weird. I don't deny nobody that. I just don't. I feel on the spot and stuff, but I do my best. You know, I just talk to God just like I'm talking right now, because I know God can hear me. I don't. It's not like I gotta, you know, put my hands together and pray. And that's what I did as a kid before I go to bed and say my bedtime prayers. And there's times I might still do that, you know. But outside of that, I talk to God just like I'm talking right now. Ain't that right, Lord? Yeah. I wish you would have said something back. That would have been pretty amazing for this video. Would have scared the heck out of me, though. Would have been a shocker. Oh boy. Yeah, so that happened in the store there, and I just did my best, and I talked to God then, with her by my side, and asked him to help and stuff, and thanked him for listening to us, and appreciated him and stuff. So hopefully I'm doing okay with it, and I hope that prayer, I know it was heard, and I hope that the good Lord helped him with the situation. Sounded like that man had a lot of tough stuff going on from what you're saying, which is why, of course, she asked me to pray for him, I guess. Different. My friend was like, when it all happened, he's just like, okay, that's weird, you know. Just out of the blue, somebody come running up to you asking you that. I don't know. But a lot of stuff like that happens to me, and I don't know if it's my aura or what I project, or I get strangers all the time that I never met before in my life that just start talking to me or telling me their story, or I'm just there to help them best way I can, or any way I can, and hopefully even if it's just sharing time talking to them, hopefully it's helping them. So I hope the same thing happens with these videos. I hope that it helps people out there, and I know it is, because I've already had some people write to me. I've had people in town here come up to me and talk to me in person about watching my videos, and so I know it's a good thing, because the videos will be around even after I'm gone, more than likely. And so I got to keep doing them, because I believe in them. I believe God's got me doing this for a reason. And even if it's now while I'm alive or after I'm gone, somebody might be watching one of these videos that's going to set with them, and maybe it'll help them out, or maybe it'll help them see something differently, or feel not so alone that something I talked about was what they're going through, and hopefully they got good advice from my video out of it or something, you know. And if I am long gone, well, hey, still, thanks for watching my video. I'm a time traveler. I'm talking to you from the past. So I literally am, because whoever's watching this video, it's getting uploaded after I've made it, so I am talking to you from the past. Hello to Time Traveler Darren. So this can also be considered kind of a sci-fi channel. How you like that? Oh yeah. Just bring out the kid in us and use our imaginations. Imagination's a powerful, fun thing. As long as you imagine good stuff, fun stuff, your life will seem better and better and better. Because then you're just helping promote good things, you know. If you worry and think about bad things all the time, or talk about bad things all the time, well, then that's because you kind of draw, you know. Kind of common sense, kind of, but we don't realize that, because life can get pretty crazy and kind of circle around us sometimes, and we feel surrounded by it, Instead of walking through it, sometimes we feel surrounded by it. And then if we wake up enough, wake our brains up enough and think, wait a minute, life ain't surrounding me. I can go forward. I can go over there. I can go over there, I don't need to have this surround me here. I can go over there and let it surround me over there. No. At least it changed my view. But sometimes that's what it takes, is changing your view to look at something differently. And you might have a different answer. So I'll get into that in a different video. And maybe show you some analogies my karate master when we talk about life and different things and different challenges in life. But once again, I'm getting long-winded for just turning on a camera and talking to it. And once again, thank you for being here and watching it. So, as I normally say, don't forget to talk to God. And it's not hard to make time for God. You can be driving and talking to Him. As long as you're paying attention to what you're doing, don't be forgetting about your driving. And if you are talking to Him, tell Him to keep you safe while you're going down the road and make sure that nothing bad happens, And because you're talking to Him, He'll probably help you out there, Sure hope so. Hope I'm not speaking too big there, Lord. Oh. You gotta talk to God. And if or when you do, tell Him down says hi if you feel like it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. God bless you. And we will see you on the next one.